It's so hot.
It's horrible today.
It is really horrible today.
It's the humidity that kills me.
I should turn me down. I haven't turned me down yet.
Always turn you down. Turn me up.
Always
turn
turn
you
you
down.
down, can you?
Take the rabbits
I would like to say thank you to one of my my sweet students who listened to the podcast and noticed that we talked about me doing puzzles and getting secondhand puzzles.
Oh, yes.
She brought me a puzzle.
Yes, she did.
Last week, and it's a cat puzzle.
Oh, what's her name? Let's shout her out.
Beth. She's very sweet.
This is the listeners are growing. A lot of them are your students because you teach Lyra every week. Yeah. So I feel like we need to bring the podcast as part of the curriculum. You know what I mean? So it's like first half we do Lyra and then maybe a quiz on the podcast. Okay, who shared it this week? We could start this like a pyramid scheme. And you're at the top.
They get a special
go. Oh, I
treat.
could so see that. And then in years to come, there'll be a documentary about us, about how we scammed and ripped everyone off. She was great at Lyra, and then it started.
Like a cult.
Yeah, cut to another interview. She'd just bring in these stickers, these remember that stickers, and say we had to pass them out. Dun, 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 dun. I'm already cutting this documentary in my head.
I know.
No, shout out to the girls.
I'd watch it.
What are they called? What do we call Maddie's? Do you have a name for them? You know how like when you go to school and you've got a name, like we're the Scouteteers or whatever. Like, do you?
Is that what your group was?
No, we're the Maddiettes, the Madettes. Are they the
Scouteteers.
Are they the Madettes? Like what is your class name? Do you have a class name?
No, we don't.
Let's have one right now.
Well,
hello, my fellow pod lovers. No.
the Remembereers.
Remembereers.
No, it sounds like rear.
Remember, stick it in the rear. No, I'm joking. Well, I don't mind the Madettes.
Okay.
No, okay, that doesn't instill me with a lot of confidence that you're on board. I don't mind that name. Okay, that's interesting.
No, it's. I don't need a group name.
No, you're right. You don't. Anyway, Madettes, thanks for listening. We really appreciate the Madettes coming along and listening.
They're the best.
The Madettes. Maybe they've got a name. Maybe you'll go into on Tuesday and they'll just start. You'll walk in the class and they'll just start shouting, "The Maddiettes, the Danny Giles fan club."
You wish.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do.
What spurted the idea for this episode is...
I don't think that was the right word.
All right. What ejaculated this idea for this episode?
Much better.
Yes. Was I got sent this week to... I got sent along to first aid training.
Yes.
And I am now, as the podcast continues, we are going to be getting more guests on. Jamie Kirk was supposed to be on today, but we had to reschedule.
Of course. Enemy of the podcast / me, number 2.
Number 2.
My sister's number 1 enemy.
Yes. Put the theme in here. Yeah, Jamie had to reschedule. I think he might be hazing us as a part of welcoming us to the podcasting community. As
I think so.
He is a host of Community Notice Board, and maybe he's trying to train and prep us. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll come do it. Hey, guess what? Reschedule last minute. This is what we have to deal with. Like he's trying to, you know what I mean? I think it's coming from a place of love. You know, maybe when he gets here as well, he'll be like, whoops, my mic doesn't work. What are you going to do? Like,
he tests us the whole time.
Yeah. Come on. He's like, this topic's boring. Come on, Danny, Maddie, let's go.
He's just a nightmare guest the whole time.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
He's hazing us.
I do want to punch him in the face. So.
Jesus, okay. We don't have to talk about punching him in the...
I've said this many times
That's
because
true.
of the PS5.
The PS5 debacle.
Fiasco.
Yeah, which I was with Jamie at the pub last night and we were talking about...
No, I don't really want to punch him in the face.
I know, he's the best. You're like, don't fight me, Jamie. I'd win though. This is
Maybe I'll challenge him next
this
week.
is so funny. Yeah, so Jamie gave me the PS5. Been playing Final Fantasy at 7 Rebirth. It took over my life for a few months. If you haven't listened, but no, we are going to have him on next week unless he reschedules again and does some other hazing. he might be like, yeah, no worries, I'll be there at 11, and then at 11 he just starts egging our house. It's like, welcome to the podcast community. Anyway, I did my first aid training.
Yes.
Now, you're first aid trained.
Yes.
And I know I said this to you during the week, but I think it'd be cool to just reassure anyone that they're going to be safe. We are both first aid trained.
We could practice on them.
We could practice on that. Well, I thought what could be fun is if we do a little bit of a role play. I went to ChatGPT like 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
And I said, could you give me a few hypothetical situations that would require first aid training if we were recording our podcast?
Yeah.
Here's some things that it said that might happen. Choking incident.
Oh.
During a recording session, the guest brings a snack or is offered food or drinks. They start choking on a piece of food. Now, would you know what to do as a first aid officer, as a fellow first aid officer, Maddie? Would you know what to do in this situation?
Yeah, well, if it was Jamie, I would just leave it because that would
Oh my God!
doing my job for me.
Darker.
Sorry, Jamie. I don't know where this is going
What
from.
is going
Coming
on?
from a really dark place
I
inside.
haven't even played the PS5 in ages.
I'm not over it, obviously.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'd leave him. No, yeah, I would. I would smack him on the back.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you're supposed to do sharp blows to the...
Yeah, the uppercut.
Yes.
Okay, should we do a quick scenario now, just to reassure everyone? Ready? I'm going to be the guest.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Are you Jamie?
No. No, I'm not Jamie.
Okay.
God, I hope he doesn't come over and choke. I'll be like, Maddie, help! You're like, I'm on my way. Just sitting there. Sitting there. I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? He just...
No.
It was a nice thing he did.
We love you, Jamie.
Don't bring me into this. Say you love him. He knows I
I
love him.
won't.
So I'm a guest. Who am I? Who's our unlikely wish list of celebrity guests that we're going to get on?
Larry Emder.
Okay. Hang on, let me do my Larry Emder.
You love
Hang on.
Larry Emder.
Let me do my Larry Emder. Higher. Lower. Yes, well, the Price is Right. When I first got the call, excuse me.
You okay, Larry?
Excuse me. Oh, hang on. Let me bring that up. Hang on a sec. It's going a bit lower. Hang on, it's going a bit higher.
What this reference?
Oh, you don't know what the reference is? It's on Price is Right.
Oh, sorry. I never
Why do you
watched
not?
it.
I start a 90s 2000s podcast with you and you know no 90s 2000s references.
You know I didn't know Larry Emder.
I know.
until
That blew my
you
mind.
told me about
That
him.
blew my mind
No,
when you were
no.
like, who's that? I was just like, what? No. You figured out who it was because I worked with him. And then you were like, wait, he hosted The Price is Right. Really? Like you were surprised.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Anyway. So what would you do? You come over and you...
Well, if you're still talking, I know you're not. Your airway isn't blocked.
All right. So you just go, he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. If you can still cough, you encourage them to cough
Oh, there
to
you
like
go.
get it up
There you go. Okay.
before you start whacking them on the back.
Yeah. And I know the recovery position now
Oh,
as
that's
well.
good,
Yeah.
yeah.
The thing that's impressed me about you
Yeah.
is how much you retained of like various bites, because there's different bites and stings and stuff, and they each have like a different response that you're supposed to give. And I remember we talked about it like when we went away one time, and you just remembered all of them. You're like, yep, yeah, I know how to do a splint. Yep, yep, I know if a tree impales you, I know what to do. Yep. You took your first aid training seriously.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of had to.
Yeah.
You know, living in the scary country.
It's true.
You always get hurt when we go visit my mum because you're a city boy. You don't know how to protect yourself in the country.
Every time we have been up to Manila to visit your mum, I have sustained some injury. The Manila Manila tries to kill me
Yeah, every time.
every single
He's
time.
got a severe burn from the bonfire once.
Oh yes.
Was it from the bonfire or the
No, it was the
inside
fireplace.
fire?
It was the
Yeah.
fireplace. I was literally just putting wood in, and it was like, "Fuck you!"
And then you had an allergic reaction to the sunscreen.
I had an allergic reaction to the sun.
You had to wash yourself off.
Yes. I was just covered in
You
red.
were red.
All you guys were like sitting there eating barbecue. I was like, guys.
Danny's dying.
Yeah. It was a few different things. And then something landed on me, I think, as well.
You got bitten by something, didn't
I got
you?
bitten by something.
A
Somebody
bee?
somebody shot me in the leg. No. Well done. So any guests coming on, rest assured, you're fine.
We got you.
Maddie, would you like to intro us in 3, 2, 1?
Hello.
Fantastic.
It's a bit more understated, that one.
No, well, you get one. That's it. You know, no redos.
Okay.
Today we are talking about my first injury.
Yes.
We're keeping this G to PG rated. We're not going to get too graphic.
Except for the swearing.
Yes, it's going to be a lot of swearing. But I've got a lot of stories. I'm very clumsy, and a lot of stuff happened. I've been fortunate that nothing too graphic. As I've stated on this podcast before, I've never broken a bone. But Maddie,
Yeah.
what was your first injury?
Well, I remember a couple, but the first one that I remember that was quite bad. So I was, it was probably when I was maybe 5, 6 maybe, and I was at home, and I remember skipping
no.
with a bath towel,
Okay.
right? We had hard wooden floors, and I was doing it in front of Phoebe.
Wait, so you're doing it inside?
Inside,
Oh, wow.
skipping, like a skipping rope,
Yep.
but with a towel.
Oh,
and
no.
Phoebe was looking at me, and she just goes, "I wouldn't do that."
Oh, yes. I love this already. This is so... It's so funny how common it is in the injury stories that they start with somebody giving you fair warning to maybe slow down or stop what you're doing.
Especially your sibling.
Yeah.
You just know
her
what's
looking.
going to happen after
I wouldn't
that.
do that.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You're going to trip." And I was like, "No, I won't." Next minute,
Bang.
tripped myself with
Yeah.
the towel, went smash face first on the wooden floor, and blood everywhere.
Ugh.
Think I nearly broke my nose, or I did break my nose.
Shit.
I'm not sure.
After 5 seconds after, I'm like, don't worry, we're not going to get too graphic. You're like, here's my WWE style, very serious injury.
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
And immediate panic and
Yeah.
crying.
Yeah, sure.
And the most awkward part about it is
Yeah.
I had a friend over.
Oh. So they got to sit there through it. When something dramatic happens when you have a friend over, when there's some sort of family drama or something, and then they just get brought into the emergency,
Yeah.
they're like, Kathleen, just fucking grab it. Just call the fucking ambulance, Kathleen. and just in the heat of the moment, I hate your friend. I hate your friend. I've never liked her. She's always just fucking snooting around. Like
Hopeless.
it just all comes out about how much you hate Kathleen.
Yeah, and then they just have to sit there awkwardly being like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah. Yeah. And then later it's all calmed down. Sorry I said so much stuff about you, Kathleen. She goes, "Oh, that's okay. I'm just a bit thirsty." Of course you fucking are. Still angry.
Yeah, so ice on the nose. I don't remember going to the hospital though. I don't.
No hospital trip.
Don't think so.
What was your first hospital trip? Like, you must have had one.
Well, my older sister and
You're like, the next day I fell over again. And again, Kathleen was there. And no, sorry. Your older sister.
My older sister and I were there when our little sister was born. We were at the hospital.
Okay.
But my first trip to the
I thought you were going to say it would have been awesome if the story was and you were there and then you just like fell over and you're like, "Wah!" And then
well, I broke my nose there.
yeah. It's just you were skipping with the towel. Phoebe's like, "Why are you still doing this?" Like, oh, sorry, Marty.
But the first time I remember going to the hospital, it wasn't me who was injured. It was my older sister.
Okay.
She had a bad one. She was at preschool,
Mm.
so I must have been really young. She would have been 3 or 4 maybe.
Okay.
And she was watching the older boys jump out of this tree just for
Oh.
fun. They were climbing the tree and jumping out of it
Okay, wait. Onto what?
onto the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, just jumping off a tree.
Country kids.
And she thought, well, I could do that.
Mm.
That looks fun.
Yeah.
So she did, and she fell off and broke her arm. Well, she jumped off and broke her arm.
Jesus.
And the teacher didn't believe that she jumped off. They thought she fell off the tree, and she's like, no, I jumped. Just very insistent that she jumped. And she was really brave about it. She was walking back to the classroom holding her arm.
Yeah.
And the teacher saw her and was like, Phoebe, you okay? And she's like, yeah.
Oh, well, she might have been in shock.
Probably.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
pain.
Yeah.
And then we had to go to the hospital. And I remember it was such a bad break. She ended up with these giant blisters on her arm.
Ooh.
From the skin kind of moving, I guess.
Okay, wow.
That was pretty horrible. Massive pussy blisters. Yeah, I won't go into it. But
No, it's all right.
yeah, that and then she broke it again. Oh, actually, that was the second time she'd broken that arm. The first time she broke her arm, she was dancing on a table when she was about 18 months old.
Oh, my gosh.
I would have been a tiny baby,
Yeah.
or maybe not even born yet. And she fell off the table and broke her arm.
Oh, my gosh.
So she has a dodgy arm now. That's
she
her
must.
dodgy arm.
Yeah, she must. Yeah, that's horrible. I can't imagine. I will say, going back to the first aid course, it did leave you feeling anxious.
Oh,
Just
I get
thinking about all these scenarios of going, oh, fuck, imagine if that happened.
Yeah.
And I had to deal with that.
I know.
It was
they put all these horrible scenarios in your head.
which do happen, but it's just it's crazy.
I've done it a few times, and I always get queasy when they're talking about the blood.
Yeah, I figured
I
you'd
get
done it a few
faint.
times because you remember all the stuff so much.
What about you?
Look, I had a lot of little injuries. I mentioned the one with the tennis racket to the face that my sister smacked me accidentally.
Oh, that
Had to get
was
stitches.
awful.
Yeah. Horrible, horrible. I've mentioned falling off the bike. But one thing that was interesting that happened was I had I must have been pretty young, maybe 10, 11, I can't remember. But I had an allergic reaction to a bee sting.
Oh.
My hand, it was on my hand and it swelled up. My dad said, and it's funny when your hand, when you have a reaction like that and it's swollen, you just can't see. I remember it being swollen, but my dad was like, it was the size of a football. I'm like, I don't think it was the size of a football. I don't think I just had this football-sized hand.
I'm just imagining this football on the end of your arm.
That's what
with these little bumps as fingers.
Yeah. Like the divot.
Fingers have gone.
Yeah. It's just a football. It says my hand says Spalding. No, but I was in hospital. It was interesting for a couple of days, and then off the back of it, I got somehow while I was in hospital, or maybe a day out from leaving, I got tonsillitis and had to either stay or go back in. So I remember I was in hospital
Horrible.
for I don't know, a while. But one thing that I remember is how fucking cool the kids' ward was.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean?
First of all, they had a TV out in sort of the, I guess, so you had your rooms, but then you had this kind of play area that was kind of had books and maybe board games and
Probably
maybe
PS5.
puzzles and no, yeah, Jamie's there. Hey guys, I can't do it, Jamie Kirk. There you go. That's Jamie Kirk. You
Very
kids
good.
want to play Final Fantasy? There you go. You're welcome,
Sound
Jamie.
like the Hamburglar.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. Now I'm like, that's more Dave McNevin, less Jamie Kirk. Anyway.
Okay. I'm sure I'll forgive you.
Yes. So you had the play area, and then you had a TV that was there. They chucked Cheese TV on in the morning. I remember watching Pokemon there. But then you had this fucking, I think it was maybe one console in the whole ward it was a Nintendo 64 or it was like a game station that was carted around on wheels. I think you could use it to watch movies as well. This is how I remember it. When I got there was a fucking kid and he just had it there on his bed. And I was like, you
Little
motherfucker. But then he got discharged.
I thought you were going to say then he died.
Well, yeah, then I killed him. Then I poisoned him during the night.
Yeah.
I
unhooked his IV.
I administered a series.
Pulled the plug.
I went back.
Oh, I can't hear anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
That's, no, gone.
Go on, Daniel.
Yeah.
That better?
It was better before.
It's better before Daniel. Fix it, Daniel.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Done?
Oh, no, gone again.
Oh, my God.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Nope, gone again.
I'm leaving all of this in.
I have to adjust them because of your big head. Now I can't hear anything.
Oh, for God's sake.
It's back. It's back.
It's back.
Okay. Did you get my big head comment?
Yeah, I did.
Just making sure.
Is it your big head?
It's because of your giant head.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we have a new drop. We haven't mentioned this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have a new drop. If you've been tuning in the last 2 episodes, this has been brought up. And that is Maddie. Whenever I'll just play the drop.
Boom, boom, boom.
So that is in reference to Maddie grinding up on the dance floor and putting her ass in.
Which is so inaccurate, by the way.
Boom, boom, boom.
I never sort out.
Wait, sorry, you never.
Boom, boom, boom.
I never sort out a face to put my bum in.
Right.
I would just dance by myself if I had to, or just with Phoebe or with whoever.
So
I wouldn't grind up on people.
So you would just be on. Let me get this straight. You would be on the dance floor,
Yes.
going,
Boom, boom, boom.
and if a face happened to come near you, you would.
Boom, boom, boom.
There's that.
It's like the scene out of The Simpsons where Bart is swinging his arms.
Yeah, exactly.
Lisa is
Exactly.
kicking.
You're,
And they're like, if you get in my way, it's your
yeah,
own fault.
100%. 100%. You're twerking and you're going,
Boom, boom, boom.
and you're smacking your ass everywhere.
It's your own fault if you get too close.
Excuse me, sir.
Anyway.
Anyway, so back in the
So
the
you
kids'
killed that
ward.
boy.
I killed him. I fucking killed him. I fucking killed him. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think from memory he got discharged. So then it was just me,
Oh.
and I think there was maybe 1 or 2 other kids. Now, from memory, I think as a kid I would have been too anxious to be like.
Mine.
Really?
I'm pretty sure I would have gone, do you want to have a turn?
Oh.
No, well,
That's
it's,
sweet.
yeah, but it's not what you think.
Okay.
It's just like, I would be anxious that they'd be like, oh, this little cunt's had it for too long. You know, I think,
Yeah. But
Yeah.
still, kids don't normally care about sharing.
no, it was more like, oh, I don't want this to be a thing.
Okay.
I was doing my due diligence. Put it this way, if they had said yes, I would have been like, nope. I'm going, oh, you do?
Oh, too bad.
Oh, well,
That's a shame.
good luck.
Too bad I've got it.
But
isn't it?
I remember playing, I think, on that 64 console. What games would have been on? Maybe Pokemon Stadium?
Mario Kart.
No.
What?
No. No.
Donkey Kong.
No.
What?
Donkey Kong 64 wasn't out yet.
Super Smash Brothers.
No. I don't remember.
No.
No.
And now I'm like, was it a Super Nintendo? But anyway, it was the one console and it was carted around. And
Cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It was fun. So the kids' ward was sick.
You would have felt so sick though with tonsillitis.
Yeah, I also do remember I made them because you had a cannula. Is that what it's called?
Yuck. Yes.
Yeah, for the IV.
Yes.
And I was so freaked out looking at it
Horrible.
that they casted my entire arm.
Oh.
Yeah, and I had people sign the cast.
Like a full cast.
Yeah, like I'd broken
Not
my
even
arm.
just a bandage. Just
Yeah, because I think my mum was like, I think it's freaking him out looking at it and he keeps wanting to, so they're like, okay, well, we can cover it. And I was like, yeah, that's not enough. And so they cast it and I had people sign it like I had a broken arm.
How old were you?
Again, like 10 or 11 or something. Yeah.
Okay, so old enough to not to know what it was and not try and
Oh,
take
totally.
it out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So yeah, that was the bee sting, and that was like.
I didn't know you're allergic to bees.
Well, allergic reactions to stings apparently is pretty common. I think it's not. Yeah, I don't know. Is that being allergic to bees? I don't know.
Yeah, but it swells up a lot like that. Yeah, that's not
Yeah, but
regular.
I've also heard that there's some misconception where they can just give you, if left long enough, they can just give you a reaction. You don't actually have to be allergic to it or something. I don't know. Because I think there's serious allergic reactions to bee stings where you like fucking die.
Oh, anaphylaxis.
Yes. Yeah. So it's obviously not that. It's
No.
obviously I'm just,
Yeah.
It's
mildly allergic.
100%. So that was the bee sting. I wrote down N64 Pokemon. I was like, that was the kid's ward.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
So you were a tonsillitis kid as well.
And I never had them taken out.
We both were tonsillitis.
Did you have yours taken out?
Yes.
Yeah, I've
but
still got
not
it.
until I was 17, and I used to get it at least twice a year, really badly.
They don't do it anymore.
Why?
I don't know.
The best thing I ever did.
Yeah, hang on a sec. They're part of the immune system, and they play a role in fighting infections. Removing tonsils can potentially impact immune function, especially in younger children. There's improved management of infections. There's stricter guidelines for surgery. Focus on risks and recovery. A bunch of shit. Yeah,
I'm
it's just
so glad I got mine out.
really.
I used to get it so bad. I was so sick, and they put me on antibiotics every time, and I used to hate taking it because it was the liquid stuff, and it tasted like soap.
Yeah.
Literal soap.
Yeah.
And my mum used to have to force it on me. I would cry, and I'd stuff tissues in my mouth to avoid swallowing because it hurt so much.
Oh my gosh. On this subject, the thing that I used to get all the time as a kid was nosebleeds.
Really?
So it was really bad. Like we had to
God.
go to the doctors. We had to, I think there was at one point, they were considering some type of surgery because of how bad it was getting. Like I think you can burn the nerves there or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The capillaries or something.
Yeah, you can, yeah. And then I
Ugh.
didn't, and then I just aged out of it. I guess it just stopped, but it was so.
You never get them now.
No, it would go on for so long.
Oh.
Like more than an hour, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, it was so bad.
And how often?
I can't remember, but very often.
More
Like,
than
I'd be
a
scared.
few times a week.
Yeah, 100%.
Almost every day.
I don't know. Now I don't know.
I feel like your family would have just gotten so used to it. Like, no, Danny's bleeding again.
For sure. You know how you used to like
Hold.
tilt your head back?
Yeah.
I hated that
You're
because
not supposed to do that now.
I just would lean forward and
You're
let it bleed.
supposed to lean forward.
Yeah. I just let it bleed out, literally.
Yeah, because if you tip it back,
Mm-hmm.
the blood's just going back into you. Yeah, too graphic.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, they definitely changed that advice.
Yeah, I mean, they updated a lot of stuff, I think, from what they probably thought, here's what you do when we were growing up. Now they're
Yeah.
like, oh, actually, don't do that.
Like the Heimlich maneuver, you don't do that
They don't teach
anymore.
that in Australia anymore.
No.
They don't, because you can crush people's ribs and all that stuff.
I mean, you can do that with CPR,
But although they said they said often first responders will break people's ribs, but they're like, well, it's either that or you
would
die.
you rather break a rib or survive?
I think on that sort of very, very little, I don't remember this, but there is a scar on my forehead. Apparently, Cherie can probably confirm this. I ran into a coffee table and split my head open.
Oh,
Yep. Yep.
it's so cute imagining you so small that you run into a coffee table with your head.
And it's so me as well. Like I would do
You
that.
would, yeah, you would. Of course
See
you
this
would.
tooth here? I don't know if you've ever seen this. See this? There's a bit missing.
Let me see. Hang on. Oh, yeah.
There's a bit of my tooth missing.
Yeah.
That happened in high school. I jumped onto Ross Taylor's back and landed on his
And you bit him.
shoulder. No, and it just smacked me up, and it was just, I just.
He headbutted you.
No. We were just mucking around, and I jumped onto his back, and it smacked me, and I was like, oh, and I lost a bit of.
Chipped your tooth.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and then so much in high school. I had a big log full on all of my toes.
On your
I
toe?
Yeah,
How?
I can't remember. A car ran over my feet.
Oh,
Ran over my
God.
toes. Yeah. That was bad.
Oh, my God. Woohoo, your parents.
No, my sister's ex-boyfriend.
They saw you in the rearview mirror. They're like, oh, fuck this
my
little
sister's
guy.
ex-boyfriend. He felt terrible.
Oh, you would.
Yeah. I'll tell you about this quickly because it's a very quick story, and then I'll tell you about I remember in high school one of the worst injuries. It was horrible. But there was one time that I got all of these blue spots over my skin.
Ooh.
And from memory, I mean, like to this day, we never found out what it was.
What?
I remember we went to the doctors and they were like, like maybe it's an allergic reaction or like maybe, and I think maybe they gave me some whatever. But I remember being at a Christmas like family, maybe church, like carols thing, and they had a jumping castle and I was jumping on the jumping castle and then my shirt came up and I remember hearing a boy go, "Oh, he's an alien!" Which is not the first time I've been called an alien. If you're a listener to this pod, that was the first thing a girl said to me when I walked into high school. You look like an alien.
And it was because of your giant head.
It's because of my giant head, and now this guy's saying because of blue spots all over the body.
And your
I might be an alien.
Your long fingers. And
Yes.
stuff. That's really weird.
Yes.
And they never figured it out.
No.
And they just went away on their own.
They just went away.
Did you feel sick?
I don't remember feeling sick. I don't remember what it was, but I remember it was blue and it was very odd.
Oh.
Yeah. It was
Can you
very
chat GPT it? See if it comes up.
So it's definitely not the first two. The first two is bruises, Mongolian spots, which is a type of birthmark. Okay, there's a couple of different things it could be. Tiny blood vessels break.
It was all over your skin,
But that's a trigger of like a reaction to a medication, an infection. Blood vessels constrict. It would have something to do with the blood vessels, I reckon.
Oh.
Yeah. The other thing that happened, which was horrible. Oh my God, it was so horrible.
Oh no.
One of the things that I hate, which you, bless you, when we were pretty early on into dating, do you remember this? The first injury I sustained?
Was it the burn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my least favorite injury.
It's pretty bad.
I hate burns.
It's so
because
painful.
they just stick around
So
and
painful.
they hurt for so.
It's not just a one-off, is it? It's
no. And
hours
I was
of pain.
and I was the biggest baby.
You
feel
were
like
a big baby.
I feel like we'd known each other for like 2 months.
No, it wasn't that early.
It was because we made the joke about the Christmas lights, remember? we made that joke. Yeah. We were driving because you were driving me to the pharmacy. I was in so much pain and you were like, "Oh, look, Christmas lights." And I was like, how funny would it be if you were like let's quickly go look at the lights before we drive to the pharmacy. And I'm like, "Maddie, I'm in a lot of pain." And you're like, "Oh my God." It can't always be about what you want.
We're doing your thing.
We're doing your thing. Your thing is we go to the pharmacy. We need to do my thing as well. Okay? We're going past the Christmas lights. We're going to have a quick look. Then we're going to go do your thing. Okay? You can't be selfish. That's not going to work for this relationship. I'm just sitting there in like so much pain.
He burned his finger, bless him, on steam. I think it was steam.
Yeah, it was a microwave meal and I opened the packet too soon. That was all it was.
And I didn't take that as a red flag. You were such a sook. Oh my God. I feel like out of the two of us, with pain, I am so much better than you.
100%. I am a baby when it comes to pain. I am the biggest baby when it comes to pain. You are. Look at all this stuff like Lyra and all this stuff that you do where you just learn hair hanging, like all this stuff that's so painful and you're like, it's okay, it's fine. No, it's fun. It's fine. If I did
stub your toe.
If I did hair hanging once, I'd take 6 weeks off work and just be wrapped in a blanket drinking cocoa for 6 weeks, even in the middle of summer. Like,
You'd
seriously.
be in shock for
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah. Do you remember, although the other thing is, and I know this isn't my first injury, but remember my tooth?
Oh,
I had a tooth extracted.
It's even too soon.
Yeah.
This was quite a while ago.
Was it?
It was.
This was a couple of months ago.
No, it was longer than that. I think it was, Start of the year?
No, I promise you, it was at the most 6 months ago.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
whatever.
Whatever, okay.
No, do we want to get into this? Because it is quite graphic.
Yeah, right. We won't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that was bad.
It
and
was
we're
just it was
still
a
traumatized.
it was a hospital trip. It was very very traumatic.
4 or 5 a.m. hospital trip. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, but it was like also you dealing with it before the hospital trip. Also you dealing with it like because I was like, and I was like,
There's a lot of blood
and I
involved.
think you kept saying like, do you want to go to the hospital? And I was hospital. And to my credit, I was like, no, I'm okay. It's fine. Which is not like me at all. You know what I mean? No, I mean like, yes. Get me to the
He pricks his
hospital.
finger and
Yeah.
he wants to go to the hospital.
I'm like shaking you awake. Mommy, I stepped on a bindi. Maybe we'll tell that story another time.
Another time.
Yeah,
When we're not so traumatized by it.
Yeah, it was brutal. So anyway, back to the burns. It was maybe year 10 and everybody was doing their kind of end of year project. So if you did metalwork, woodwork, all that stuff, you had a thing that you would make for the term or something. I made this really, really shitty money box. Oh my God, it was so shit. It was so shit. And I engraved with burning the Tasmanian devil on it and it looked so I was like, this is not my thing. I can't do woodworking. Like it was all burnt and it just looked like it looked like a 4-year-old did it. And then the fucking thing that slid into the money box wasn't even. It was like a corner hanging out. Literally. And
You got 15% out of 100.
no, I think they just probably felt sorry for me. I was like, yeah, get out.
Oh, well done, Daddy.
Get out of here, kid. It's like,
Good-
please
good
don't
job.
repeat. And,
Very
you know,
good.
Yeah. Anyway, next door was the metalwork kids. And actually, call back to lighting Sheena's fart on fire when we were at Samantha's house. It was Samantha came out and they were making seats, right? Like seats that you sit on.
Cool.
But kind of like
That's better than money boxes.
but not so just so it's kind of like the seat a drummer sits on. You know how
Like
it's
a
just
stool.
like a stool. I'm such an idiot.
There's a word for that.
I know.
That's the word you're looking for. Stool. You know, it has like a flat bottom and it's got 3 little legs.
I should have just kept going. No, it's not that. Like just like spent
It's not
10
a
minutes
stool.
just describing a stool. Like sometimes they have them at bars. Sometimes they have them like high tables. You're like, I really think stool is the word you're looking for. I'm like, no.
It's not that.
Anyway, well, I guess we'll never know. A stool. Thank you.
Pew. Rocking chair.
I know. I'm trying to. I'm struggling. Bench top. Yeah,
bench.
yeah.
They were making their stools.
They're making their stools.
Yeah.
And they brought it out, and I remember Samantha was holding it upside down, holding it by the bottom where the chair bit was. And they were all kind of just holding it, right? Where the stool bit was. And I went up and I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Let me have a look.
No.
And I grabbed it by one of the legs, not realizing that it had just been welded.
Oh no.
And I burnt every single one of my fingers on one of the
Danny.
hands, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I was in very serious pain, I think, for like 24 hours straight.
Burns are the worst.
I was like, I remember it was so bad. I had my hand in water and you can't sleep.
There's nothing you can do.
You can't sleep. It's like that provides a little bit of soothing,
Relief.
but and I'm putting ice on it and stuff, but literally I couldn't sleep.
No,
it was horrible.
It's the worst pain.
It was so bad.
Horrible.
Did you ever get I just remembered something else. Did you ever get like a really bad stomach bug or gastro or anything like that?
Not that I can recall.
No.
Did you?
Yeah, I had gastro once when I was working at Coles. It was horrible.
Oh.
You've never had gastro?
I probably had, but I don't know if I had.
You'd know if you had.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
You're basically sick for I think 48 hours.
Mm.
Ooh, big lightning.
Storm.
Okay, we're back.
What are we talking about?
We were talking about gastro, but we were interrupted by an insane lightning storm.
Big storm.
And we're recording because we are so on schedule. We're actually putting this episode out tomorrow. I'm going to very quickly edit it. So if you're in Sydney, we're talking about
that storm.
that storm.
that was on at about 2:30.
About 2:40 yesterday.
Sunday.
If you're listening to on Monday. Yeah, wow, that was intense.
That was cool, though.
Yeah, that was awesome. It got so dark and
Yeah, we just wanted to watch it.
yeah, we did. Anyway, we were talking about gastro.
Lovely.
Gastro's horrible. Yeah, you said you had another story.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, it's one that I remember being very young.
Mm-hmm.
We were at Mum's good friend's place.
Yeah.
She had sons around our age. So we used to go and play with them.
Okay.
When Mum was visiting with her friend. And I remember Phoebe being on the swing. They had a swing set. And I must have just walked too close to her. She bashes into me when she's on the swing. And I fall over. Next thing I remember is waking up on Mum's lap.
You knocked out unconscious.
I think so.
Oh my gosh. You knocked out cold.
I think I
Oh
did.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
That's
I think I
wild.
got knocked out.
Oh my gosh. And you woke up on Mum's lap.
Yeah, with this sort of ice pack on my head.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
So Phoebe KO'd you. Wow.
No wonder we're enemies.
As you were coming to on Mum's lap, did you hear an absolute knockout there? Phoebe taking home the medal. That's
yeah, she got me.
that's
got
so
me.
intense. How old were you?
Little.
Yeah,
probably
wow. You had
two,
you had an
three.
out cold knockout. Okay, Marty is just. I got up.
Oh, my.
I got up to just calm Marty down, and then he got up, and now he
took your chair.
took my spot. So now I'm on the allocated Marty chair. Marty.
I'll have to ask Mum about that actually, because I don't know if I just fell asleep.
Yeah, right. just took a little nap.
Yeah.
That's what most boxers say when they lose. I wasn't knocked out.
Mum didn't seem concerned.
I was tired. I was just having a kip.
She was just, talking with her friend. I was just on her lap and she didn't seem worried or anything.
Well, yes, but this is the same mother that doesn't turn around and just goes whack, 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 whack when you guys are on a road trip.
Backseat.
Yeah. The backseat swing, as we called it.
It was
Yeah.
just like that, I guess.
No, that's fair. Hey, she was good.
She was a mum of 3 girls.
Yeah. She
did
was
her
a
best.
unit. She captained the ship, I think.
She definitely did.
Yeah. She did a great job.
Well, Dad was hopeless.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You've turned out great.
She was basically a single mum.
There you go. So yeah, look, I don't know if there was any knockout cold stories for me. Yeah, this is why I don't do sport, because I feel like I'm so prone to injury. Like I'm gonna be that guy
You are.
that is going to, you know what I mean? Like even
Yeah.
surfing, I'm like, ugh. I used to bodyboard when I was a kid, but even like growing up in the beaches, I'm like, I'm not gonna surf. I'll get fucked up. Like
It's boogie board and you know it.
You call it boogie board, not bodyboard.
Bodyboard is the term you use when you don't want to sound lame.
Is that right? And sorry, which one of us grew up on the beaches?
Me.
You did not.
Yes, I did.
You did not.
We both did.
You grew up in the country.
Yeah, but close to the beach.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
We were really close to Byron. We used to go there all the time.
All right. Well, I was a 10-minute drive from the beach.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Big fucking deal, Daniel. So what, Daniel?
Well, I guess either is acceptable. Boogie board, bodyboard.
Well, I don't think you should do sports nowadays because I really think you'd hurt yourself.
I think so too. Yeah. No way. The gym is all I need. Even I hear, even speak of the devil, Jamie Kirk, literally a week or two ago was like, what are you doing on Sunday? Like we're gonna do, like I think it was indoor soccer or something. He was like telling me to come along, and I was like,
No.
fucking way, man. It's crazy.
Absolutely
And
not.
even when they were doing, I don't know, they were doing, those boys were doing either soccer or basketball or something, and they were just like, yeah, we're not very good. We just get injured. And I'm like, yeah, well, I don't want to do that.
Well, yeah. The boy at work plays football and he's constantly injured.
Yeah.
Constantly. And he's only 23.
If there's any takeaway, guys, it's let's stop playing sport, okay?
Sport is bad.
Sport is bad.
Like, I wouldn't want you to do the things I do because you'd hurt yourself.
And also, I feel like you wouldn't want to feel... You know what I mean? It would be hard for you if I did do those things because I'd obviously do them so well. And you'd be like, oh my God, he hasn't had any training, he hasn't had any practice, and he's already just this amazing dancer. Amazing lyricist. Is that what you call it? When you do lyra? A lyricist?
Yeah, how did you know?
Yeah.
No, you have tried it and you did say it was very painful.
I hated it. I hated it.
You're like, why do you do this?
Yeah, literally. I was with you and a bunch of the girls that do it. And I was just like, this feels awful. Why do any of you do these?
It does.
You're all weird.
It hurts a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
People don't realize how much it hurts.
Yeah.
And then they try and they're like, what?
Yeah, why would you do this? It's
I
horrible.
don't know why you'd think it wouldn't hurt though. It's a metal bar pressing into your body.
You heard it here first, folks, which is half our listenership at this moment is Lyra
It hurts.
Lyra students.
They know. They'll
You're
back
all
me up.
weird. I'm joking. No, please keep listening. We love you.
They love it though.
Yeah.
They keep coming back. So.
Shout out to Katie because she listens every week. But also shout out to Jess, one of your students, who sent us a meme which we'll share this week. She shared us a meme about Tyler and all the girls thinking Tyler was cute and yeah, it was really funny.
You have to see it. It's funny.
We'll share it. Any more stories?
Well, that wasn't the only time I had a head injury. Actually,
Mm.
I'm basically a professional MMA fighter at this point.
You are, yeah.
That's
why you keep trying to challenge Jamie Kirk to a fight. Yeah. Yeah.
In high school, it probably would have been year 9 or 10.
Uh-huh.
The girls in my year did a TAFE course in beauty therapy or something.
Yeah.
It was part of a school program. So we went like once a week or whatever to TAFE. We were walking into TAFE and they had a bunch of gum trees out the front.
Yeah.
This branch broke off a gum tree.
Oh my
hit
God.
me in the middle of the top of the head.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then for a second I was like, oh, I'm fine. And then I kept walking. Next minute, blood is pouring down my face.
Oh.
Head injuries bleed a lot.
Wow.
And then I think I fainted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was so shocked.
Yeah.
I had sunglasses on. The blood is like, yeah, it was gross.
James, who I've spoken about a lot, old DJ, used to DJ with him, best mate from high school. He is very prone to fainting. He faints really easily.
Oh.
And it happened a lot when he had I think an eyebrow piercing and then he had a lip piercing. And it just messed with him thinking about that thing in his skin.
Oh,
So he would kind of adjust it and then he'd go, like he'd feel it on the inside and he'd go, and he'd just go. And I remember one time I'm at his house and we had to go to Candy's apartment because it was basically like a fucking MLM scheme at this point, getting having DJ meetings about events coming up and getting them to sell tickets and all this shit. But
So Candy's apartment is a club.
it was a club back in the
that's
Cross.
very confusing.
Yeah.
Just had to explain that for people who didn't know.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, so we're at James's house and he's sitting there and he's like, we're getting ready. And he's like, he does that. And he's and I like quickly grabbed him and I was like, oh. And I was like lowering him to the ground and his eyes were like rolling into the back of his head. And then I kind of had him up, like propped up from the ground. And then he kind of looked at me and I thought, oh, he's okay. So I let him go and he just fucking fell onto the ground.
Oh, you'd think
Smacked his head.
that by that point, you'd think he wasn't a piercing guy.
Yeah.
Maybe he should stop
doesn't
getting
have it.
piercings.
Yeah, he doesn't have them anymore.
If anytime he adjusts them, he fucking
He
faints.
doesn't have them.
And he has like 5 facial piercings.
What's crazy, he's now covered in tattoos. So it's like, it's
Every time he touches them, he faints.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty
Or
much.
he looks at them, he's like, ugh.
I'll never forget. It was literally that. It was just like,
No, they're permanently
Yeah,
on his body.
Literally, it was horrible.
Such a masochist.
It was horrible. Hard to wrap my head
That's
around.
really funny. But yeah, when I got knocked out at TAFE, I
Yeah.
don't know if I was knocked out. I probably just fainted, but
Yeah.
they had to call an ambulance. Like that was obviously the
Ooh.
policy.
Yeah.
So I got sent to the hospital, and in the ambulance they were asking, well, "What's your name? Do you
Yeah.
know what day it is?" I
Who's
was
the-
fine,
Who's
but
the Prime Minister? Yeah.
I don't think it was even bad enough for stitches. But
Did you know they took out a couple of years ago? They took out the question, "Who's the current Prime Minister?" Because during the time of
I
like
wouldn't know.
well, during the time of like Julia Gillard, Kevin Rudd, all that stuff, our Prime Minister changed
So much.
so many times in the space of like a year. So they're like, we got to take that out.
No one knows.
We have to take that question out.
Everyone's going to get it wrong.
Yeah.
And TAFE was really worried I was going to sue them.
Oh,
I think. So
wow.
they
Really?
personally,
A government.
Well, I guess I could, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
But
Yeah.
they personally made sure they contacted me and were like, we're going to take out those trees. Like, they're going to
We are going to wreak havoc on those trees.
the retaliation will be swift and severe.
They just send you videos of them
Chopping
shooting
the
the trees. Swing, taking axes to it, screaming at it. You mother!
I didn't want them to. I'm
Like
leave
bombing
the trees alone.
like bombing the trees
Yeah.
in your name.
So
Wow.
funny, in my honor.
For Maddie.
yeah.
The revenge will be swift and severe. That's so funny. Oh, wow.
Yeah, full on. And I was lying on the ground and everyone was gathering around me. And I just remember feeling really bad for making a fuss.
It's
It
embarrassing.
was so embarrassing.
When you injure yourself and then nobody helps. Everybody just gathers
Just
around.
gather.
Yeah, just go,
oh, you okay?
yeah. That's why that was one of the things I learned in first aid. You have to point to somebody and say, you call the ambulance. You can't say somebody call the ambulance because apparently no one does.
No one will.
Because everybody assumes, somebody
Someone
else will do
else is
it.
gonna
Yeah.
do
So you
it.
have to go, hey, you call the ambulance.
You have to delegate.
Yeah. And if it's between the three of us, I'm pointing to Marty.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
He won't, though. Anyway, I think that's all my stories.
Yeah, I don't think I've got any. I'm sorry if this was a little bit more squeamish than we had
sorry
originally
about that.
said. But yeah, injuries, they happen.
Yeah, I think more so back in the 90s because no one really cared.
No one
No one
cared.
gave a shit.
And it was just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and you just didn't wear helmets for anything and
Yeah.
nothing was... the trampolines were just fierce back then.
They
They
were.
don't even make those anymore, I don't think, without the pads on
There
them.
must have been so many other injuries that I've just forgotten. Do you know what I mean?
I'm sure.
I'm sure I fell off the trampoline. I'm sure I wrecked myself on bikes heaps of times.
Oh, yeah. Well, my little
you know.
sister, she was a trampoline addict. She'd come
Yeah.
home from school and jump on it for hours. She fell off and broke her arm
You've
once.
told this story. Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
Did I tell you that when she got her cast off, her arm was all skinny and gross, like
No.
like a golem arm.
Oh my
It
god.
was horrible.
Oh.
She was really pale. She had all this dark hair on it, and it was like a little white golem
And her arm was
arm.
going, it is. No, I can't do a
Really
golem.
precious. And then,
There you go.
but she kept jumping on the trampoline with one
Yeah,
arm
you told me that.
the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah. She didn't stop. She
No,
loved it. She
didn't
loved it.
care.
She loved to bounce.
Didn't stop her at all.
Loved to bounce.
Well, thanks for listening, and you can follow us on
On
podcast.
MySpace.
Follow us on MySpace.
We're bringing MySpace back.
Yeah, we're back on MySpace.
Yeah.
At Remember That Podcast.
Yeah.
.com. Is that it? Is that the website?
It'd be
Do we
so
have a
good.
website?
It'd be so good if we ever do a sponsored ad and that's how you read it. You go, so for Squarespace, so for 25, for all your website needs.
Just sponsor us.
Go follow us on Instagram if you don't already. And thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll see you
All
next
of you new
week.
listeners. Sign us off, Maddie.
Good night, kids.
Good night, kids.